Hey, Monday Movie Club. This week, Amy gives us pure 1970s kish nostalgia with Logan's Run from 1976, which is number 3,653 on the Franken list. I'm going to say it every time, Joel. I'm Frank Gaffney. Joel's 6. I don't know why he's Joel 6. We lost him. Is he there?
Who, me?
Ah, there you are. Yeah, you disappeared for a second.
Oh,
Are you Joel 6?
I am Joel 6.
What level of are you being exterminated this week? What?
I should have been exterminated
24 years ago.
25 years ago.
Mark G still trying
What's
to
up?
figure out his phone.
This is I'm not used to working on my phone, and I hate it. So,
We
hi.
like
Don't
this.
touch it. You're
We
good.
like yeah. Sideways with glasses on, cross-eyed. Goldfoot, no cringer. You could
I'm
have
at
brought
work.
a picture of him, something.
Aw.
Annie's
hold her.
13. What is Annie's 13? Annykins.
Oh, it's my phone.
Why is it 13?
Because my phone is an iPhone 13.
But it goes with the thematics of the movie.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
maybe 13.
I'm way past my date.
There you go. Turn it the other way. Landscape. Really? There you go. Okay, just hold it there the whole time. All right, so Aim.
Do we all realize we lost Mark?
Yeah, who cares?
No, I'm still here.
You're still
Your
here?
video.
We don't see
Why
you.
Logan's Run? Yeah, it says 5. We just don't have a picture.
Yeah,
Why
I took myself a video for a minute.
Oh, okay.
Why is a naked lady walking by her?
No, I hate the angle of this. So I gotta put my phone down, which means it gives the bad angle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. We know what you mean.
Okay. Aim, why Logan's Run?
I don't know. This was just going back to when we first started choosing movies. I was going to do movies from my past that I had a strong memory of. I really had very little memory of the actual movie. I think like you, Frank, thought they always went sanctuary, but they actually never put their hand up and went.
Yeah, they never did that. Yeah.
But I do remember the spinning on the carousel. What?
I think we started that.
Probably. The spinning on the carousel was always fun. I just wanted to relive it since I hadn't seen it in 50 years.
What?
So you were 12 when this came out.
10.
Was this one of your Stanford movies?
Yes. The carousel, Joel.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, meanwhile, we went to Mount Washington today. Can you see
Can't see what that says.
my breast? It says Mount
Washington,
Washington.
Mount Washington.
Okay.
Your breast is Mount Washington?
It is.
Okay.
It is. All right. So, firstly, I don't know when the DVD I borrowed from the library was from, but the first logo said Turner. So it was just when he bought MGM and that whole thing.
Oh, wow.
And then that first close-up of what I assumed was the domes that they live in was so fake. Oh my God, someone invent CGI already. Goodness. I mean, okay, so here's the plot. Logan's Run is a 1976 science fiction film set in the year 2274, where humans lived in a domed city controlled by a computer. The society appears utopian, but it has a dark side. To prevent overpopulation, everyone must undergo a ritual called carousel, with 2 R's, at the age of 30. And the synopsis actually had the spoiler alert. Soylent Green is people. All the summaries I read gave away that major plot point, which we don't even find out until halfway through the movie. I'm like, okay. Young people, back in the 1960s, kids used to say, never trust anyone over 30. So that's where this whole thing came, I think. I think that's where the idea came to.
You know, it's based
carousel everybody over 30.
You know, it's based on a book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he wrote it right at the end of the 60s.
Yes.
But in the book, they were 21.
21, yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yep.
All right. Okay, so Michael York is cute, even though some of us don't even know who he is.
Hey,
I'm looking at you.
I know who
I'm
he
looking
is
at
so
you, Mark
much.
G.
I know who he is so much that one time a bazillion years ago, I was in Penn Station seeing a friend on a train, and I turned around and there he was. And I just kind of said, "Hi, Mr. York. Thank you very much.
Oh my God,
That's
What
funny.
what are you thanking him for?
Just being a great actor."
being him.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe he held the door for you. I don't know. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's very cute in the movie. And so he's a police officer who's tasked with stopping people who are running from the ritual. And very cleverly, they call them runners. And the police are called sandmen because when they stop people, then this, I don't know, Segway comes by and turns them into sand.
The segue.
Right?
Sure,
Yeah.
let's go with that.
But the lasers they shoot from their guns are so ridiculous, really. And this is 1 year before Star Wars, for fuck's sake. Like, you should have listened to what they were doing next door. Okay, so then, oh, and I need that muumuu that Michael York was wearing before he called up his sex partner. So there's a machine that materializes a person for you, I guess, to have fun with. But it must have been stuck on his favorites because a boy showed up first. And so then Michael York says, "Not tonight, Mary," and he switches, and Jenny Agutter shows up, and she's all, "Let's do this, baby." And then we get side boob. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And then the computer sends Michael York undercover so he can pose
They're
as
just
a
dropping like flies here.
Well, you know, I am directing, and then there were none, so we
Well, no, I mean, we still have 5 people just
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
no picture from the other 2. Well, they're both over 30, so they got carousel.
Yeah.
All right, so then, okay, wait. Okay, so then the computer sends Michael York undercover so he can pose as a runner. And so the computer, those bitches in the computer, turn his life clock, which is that little thing on his hand, red. So instead of having 4 more years to live, he is now scheduled for carousel this year, or carousel. Like
Carousel.
dun, dun, dun. And he's like, "Will I get my 4 years back?" And spoiler alert, Michael York was really 34 when they made the movie, so he would have already been dead. Oh, did I mention that his name was Logan? No, he's Logan. Okay.
And he's running.
and he's running.
You know, when I watched the movie, I'm like, I forgot that his name was Logan, actually. I thought, you know, they lived on Logan's Run or like Knots Landing. Anywho, now he's got to run. But it's like one of those 1970, you know, movie of the week on ABC where only one person knows that the police officer is undercover in prison. And then that one person gets killed and that undercover police officer is now stuck in prison. That's what it's like. How will he survive? So Logan and his sex bot escape the dome. And then we encounter the Lost Boys, and I completely missed what were they doing and why were they, what was that about? They were like 15 years old. What happens when they're 15? There's another stage? Did I miss that whole thing?
Aren't there 3 stages? Childhood, teenage, and then adult?
Yeah, basically.
And so they keep all the teenagers like the Lost Boys on Neverland?
Yeah, then they move into the area where carousel is when they're like 18 or whatever. I don't know. I made that up.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
Paul?
So, all right. Well, it's all very complicated. And then Farrah Fawcett finally shows up, and she was Farrah Fawcett Majors for this movie.
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
And she was pretty hot stuff in 1976, seriously. And even I had that famous poster with her little nipples sticking out on the wall. But she is not a great actress. She's
Oh
not
my
even,
gosh, she was terrible.
she's not even good. And it even sounds at times like they dubbed her lines. She was so bad. They're like, okay, well, we'll just ADR you in.
There was a lot of dubbing in this movie. You know how I
Yeah.
feel about that.
And then he goes to the plastic surgeon who then tries to kill him with a rolling pin. Seriously, but
I think I fell asleep for that part. That doesn't sound familiar at all.
yeah. Then Logan runs away to Studio 54, where all the girls have no tops on. This was Mark's favorite part of the
There
movie.
she is.
He watched several of he watched that scene several times, but for his benefit, it was already in slow motion, so it was good. There were a lot of naked butts as well, but no full frontal nudity. Very disappointing. You know, this would actually be the perfect movie for Mystery Science Theater 3000. Did they ever do it?
No, because it's a studio film, so they couldn't afford the rights to it.
I certainly was yelling things at the screen as it was happening. So many convenient plot points, the two keys, good Lord. So the Sandman's friend named Frances could follow them, blah, blah, blah. And Jenny Agutter, who is, I think, the Olivia Colman of her day.
Never heard of her.
And she's wearing no bra. And of course, let's get that dress wet.
Okay, so before we continue, Jenny Agutter does have an MCU connection. Does anybody remember?
No.
No.
She's I know she's in The Winter Soldier. She might be in one other film. If you remember, towards the end of the movie, Black Widow disguises herself as like a senator or a council member or something. That's her.
Oh, yes. One of them was that met with Robert Redford.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, she certainly had a very long career.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then Logan says, let's take our clothes off first. And Jenny gets completely naked and he leaves his pants on.
Actually, if you look at when he sits down, he is not wearing pants.
Right.
I
And I
know.
thought the same thing. And then I thought, okay, he's just wearing black underwear.
Yeah.
And it looked like pants.
Yeah.
No, sorry. I mean, who wrote this movie, Mark?
Yeah, I was like, are you
Seriously,
kidding me?
even I was saying that.
And then a robot shows up with the voice of Roscoe Lee Brown, who was the James Earl Jones of his day.
Yes, we love him. But his name was Box.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Let's just call him
And
Box.
then we find out that I wasn't wrong. Soylent Green is people. Okay. Oh my God, the special effects are.
It's the Planet of the Apes all over again.
And by the way, very sadly, it was actually awarded a Special Achievement Oscar for the visual effects.
Because back in 1976, this was top notch.
But the very next year was Star Wars.
Well,
Good
but
Lord.
nobody knew it.
So this was before they had a visual effects category. So and they would vote a movie the award
I mean,
if they deemed
Don't
it.
forget, George Lucas was literally writing the book on all that stuff with ILM at the same time.
Yeah.
And then, okay, they finally get outside and Jessica yells, I hate outside, thereby encapsulating my entire childhood.
Oh,
my God.
look at me.
Yeah.
It's too hot and there are bugs.
And then, oh my God, I looked at the clock and there was 42 minutes left. Good Lord. Okay. So I stopped it and had breakfast. This was yesterday. After my cornflakes, I come back to discover that they found an outside city, but where were all the people? And then we get the Planet of the Apes moment. They're really in Washington, D.C. at the Lincoln Memorial, and they don't recognize Abe because, quite frankly, Michael York and Jenny Agutter are both British, so why would they recognize?
Right.
But where is Francis? Let's save him for Act 3. And then cats. Why did it have to be cats?
I hate cats.
And there's an old man, Peter Ustinov, doing an American accent. Oh my God, he's so terrible.
Oh, but I love him. Oh,
He was terrible in this
he
movie.
was so good. I thought he was so
Oh, no.
adorable.
Peter Ustinov always gets a pass. Always.
Adorable.
He was terrible. I hated the accent. I hated all the ad-libbing he was doing. And quite frankly, he was 55 when he made this movie, and Peter Ustinov and Joel now is 55. Looks exactly like him.
Yes. Just need to grow the beard and dye the hair gray and start.
And I think this is where Andrew Lloyd Webber got the idea to do the musical Cats. There are Jellicle cats. He mentions Macavity. So I think this was it. And then Act 3 finally begins. Oh my, so many contrivances. And Logan, you're renewed. Interesting that Francis put it that way. Okay, now here's the quandary. So Logan knows the truth. He's compelled to bring the truth to the masses. Well, I think maybe he wants to start a new religion. Loganianity? Church of the Flashing Crystals? Anybody?
No.
But I needed to say it again. Peter Ustinov accent is terrible. Shut up. And the water structure that they found at the end of the movie, that's actually a real place in Fort Worth, Texas.
Yep.
I have a note about that. Okay, cool.
Oh, so of course the kids don't believe them when they're yelling, and he gets captured, he gets interrogated, breaks the machine. I'm telling you the whole movie so you don't have to watch it.
Yeah.
And then, I didn't realize then that the people wore, the costumes they wore were the colors of their years. Yellow, green, red, and they had some matching leotards. I didn't realize that at first.
Sure.
And they matched their crystal, I guess, so it's easier to identify than having like Nazi armbands, I guess. And, but some of the green people don't wear green tights because they would look too much like Peter Pan. So, okay. And then, how did Peter Ustinov get there? Because they were like, no, you stay here. And then he shows up and they're like, oh, look, an old man. And
No, they went to him. They left him at the water place.
Oh, they went back?
Yeah, when the city exploded, they all left the city and came out and found him. Yeah.
And scene. Now you don't have to watch the movie. So, Joel, I'm sure you know the answer to this question.
Yes.
The TV series
is
what part of the movie?
Is what part of the movie? The TV series kind of retells the movie a little bit for the pilot, and then it extends it. So it's Francis.
So Logan is on the run.
Yes, they basically Logan and Jessica run from city to city once they're above ground, and it's like the Planet of the Apes series too. It's
And Francis is chasing them like it's
Francis is chasing him. I forget the actor's name who plays Francis in the TV series, but of the 14 episodes, he's actually only in like 6 of them. So, and they have a robot friend that goes with them called REM.
Huh.
REM?
Yeah.
And does he do this a lot?
No.
Okay, so I honestly don't know where to go star-wise. I enjoyed this movie more than Mystery Men, but I got yelled at last week. This is not a 3-star movie. I want to say 2.75, but it was so bad. I want to say 2.5, but I liked it better than Mystery Men, and now I'm stuck. LOL.
Had we been doing 5 stars, you'd have somewhere to go.
No, it would still be the same thing.
2.66.
I'm going to say 2.5. It's not it's really not a terrible movie. It's very much in the 70s where it was created, and it's an interesting plot, certainly too long. Okay, whatever. That's my idea. All right, Annie King is home now.
See, I made it home.
All right, had you seen this thing before?
Long time ago when it used to be on TV. I saw it a couple of times.
Wow. Okay. So now watching it as a mature and sophisticated moviegoer, what did you think?
It was a little bit too long, and like you said, I actually liked it better than Mystery Men, but it's not a good movie. Of course, all the cats was cool, and I thought about Cats also. And then there was Farrah Fawcett Majors. I think that's probably why I watched it. I was like, oh, she's on this movie. She was bad. And I agree. I'm not sure how to do it. I think I did 2.75 last week.
Yeah.
But it's not quite
You were 2.5 last week.
Oh, then I can go 2.75 then this week.
Okay, is that it for you?
Yeah.
Joel 6. Certainly you've seen this movie before.
Yeah, I've seen this movie a number of times. I grew up on it when I was a kid. It was on HBO a lot, so I'd watch it. It made a big impression on me as a 70s
Because
sci-fi.
because of the boobs.
Yes, because of the boobs. It was all about the boobs.
It really is. It was to the point of ridiculousness with the boobs.
Yes,
I'm
except
like,
that
seriously?
yes, I noticed the boobs as a kid, but that wasn't what I was interested in per se when I was like 7 and watching the movie. So
Oh.
I was affected by the some of the more dramatic science fiction aspects of it. So you have the whole carousel scene, this killer robot,
Oh, carousel scene like reminds me of Disney.
yeah. Except you don't die at Disney.
You could die on the Carousel of Promise.
You could if you step off the wrong way, but yeah, so I've seen it a number of times over the years, and it is very much of the 70s. It is very cheesy at this point. I did after seeing the movie, I eventually read the book it's based on, and this is definitely a movie that you can say is better than the book it's based on. They took some concepts and threw the rest out. The book has a couple of sequels. I only read the first one, and then I was like, okay, I'm done. Um, the TV series is about as cheesy and fun as the movie, but it did not do well. So there's only one season of 14 episodes. I still enjoy it. It is looking back on it, it is long. It is badly paced in a lot of spots. But I still enjoy watching it from time to time. So
And for our viewing audience, we're all saying it's long and it's only 2 hours.
yeah.
I don't think it's like a 3-hour movie.
No, it feels long because it's badly paced.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give it my usual 3. It's watchable, it's enjoyable. You see it once, you're probably good.
Mark G, I know it gets 4-star for boob action, but what about the rest of them?
Well, this was definitely my first time watching it, and it's funny you guys mentioned, when you saw the cast, you thought of the musical. I immediately thought of Amy. Like, this is your future.
That's her present.
Her present, yeah.
My present, my future. But Mark, he was quoting the T.S. Eliot rhyme that the musical is based on. All of his lines were from T.S. Eliot's The Book of Cats.
Yeah.
Okay. I had no idea. That was completely lost on me. So first, let's talk about The Complete Lack of Bras. It was like Amy's House on a Weekend. They didn't exist. And second, are these Sandmen or stormtroopers? I mean, their aim was horrific. I mean, it was worse than stormtroopers. They were literally shooting at people, and it was actually exploding behind them, but they were just magically not affected at all. It was, and just staring around.
Yeah, totally thought
that was bad. But it is 1 year. I said the same thing. It's 1 year before Star Wars, so I do want, George Lucas wrote that in, right? There's no underwear in outer space, and the stormtroopers can't shoot. So I don't know. Do you think he had seen this and kind of worked some of that into it as well? I don't know.
No, he's taking everything from Flash Gordon, so it's same things.
That's right. So the runners die and then they dissolve. That's the Sandman thing? I didn't really get that. That made no sense. Yeah, just kind of their body faded away. Is that because of their ray guns, I guess?
In the book, they're called Sandmen because they put people to sleep. There's no carousel in the book. You actually go to a place where they put you to sleep and you die. So.
Hey, Mr.
That's what I assumed. And then when Frank said they turn into sand, I was like, I don't remember anybody turning to sand. But yeah, they like the charcoal.
Yeah, that bad dissolving special.
Yeah.
I like that. Hey, Mr. Sandman.
Yeah. Mark?
The AI computer overlord definitely reminded me a lot of the Captain Marvel movie. Annette Bening, it was like the same exact computer that ran the whole city, and if that dies, the whole city dies. So I'm assuming they got some of that from this movie. I'm trying to give this movie some credit here because I actually enjoyed it, and I enjoyed this, I think, more than most people on this call for once. And Michael York definitely reminded me a lot of a young Malcolm McDowell in A Clockwork Orange. The accent, just his mannerisms, I don't know. The miniatures and special effects were killing me. But yeah, the naked sex room, that looked like a lot of fun. I'd definitely like to visit that. And we've come a long way in fight choreography. You know how I am with that stuff. The fighting was so, it was worse than special effects, really bad. But I like the look of nature reclaiming the buildings. And I also thought the look of the hydropower plant was pretty cool, but now that it's actually real, that makes more sense because it was very well built. I'm gonna go with 3 stars. I enjoyed it.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Wait a minute now. That was it, right? Now, Amy, that's the 2 now. So visiting it all these years later, was it still fun?
It was fun because I rarely ever see true science fiction movies. You know, so many of them today, I don't even like, of course, Star Wars is science fiction, but comparing that to this seems like Danger Will Robinson crap. And so I never see that. Yeah. So I never watched that. So it was fun to see that genre. It was fun to think about my childhood, like, what did I love about this movie, and why was a 10-year-old going to see this movie?
Because it was playing at the Avon.
Because it was playing at the Avon. What else was I going to do? The only note that I wrote was when they escaped into the outside Planet of the Apes world, she said, or before they got out, she said, are we going to see other people? And I thought, why would they even think anybody lives outside of the...
Right.
I don't, Joel,
I
how does she know that?
she's just thinking, you know, thinking maybe.
Yeah, I think that was it. She was just wondering if people
Yeah.
lived out there.
Yeah,
Wow.
it didn't look at maybe it didn't look as bad as they thought it was going to be because you know they're brought up to think that you know you can't live outside the dome, but now all of a sudden
Right.
outside the dome and we can breathe the air and there's what are these trees? Is that what they're called? I don't, you know.
Yeah.
And didn't you
Annie?
think it was like sanctuary that
Yeah.
people who escaped and actually made it?
Yeah.
Would be
That's
there?
true.
And
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I really like that's very different from the book. In the book, Sanctuary is an actual place that exists that they can get to. It's on Mars, but they can get there. And I liked in this that it's a concept that isn't real. And I think that works nicely for the story itself. So
I did love the whole shocking part of them being at Washington and the Lincoln Memorial. To me, that was really cool. Yes, it was very Planet of the Apes, but it was like, I went like that because I had no memory of any of that. So that was cool. And just Peter Ustinov, I just wanted to eat him up.
Yeah, but probably at the time you didn't know what the Lincoln Memorial was.
No, it was the bicentennial. So we were very learning on the American history in
So,
1973.
Amy, I have a quick question. How much of a fan of Peter Ustinov are you?
I have no idea. I
Okay.
couldn't even tell you another movie.
There's a film that kind of circles around my list a little bit, so I may throw it on there just for you.
Oh, okay. I mean, of course I know him, but I couldn't tell you what else he was in.
Okay.
I just loved him in this.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give it 2 3/4 stars. I could watch it again. I don't have to ever watch it again. I would probably go like this watching it now, just to get to the end.
Yeah, but you know which parts to skip now.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you know she's not going to remember the next time she goes to watch it.
that's a good point.
You
Oh
know,
my
it's
God,
just-
I didn't know Peter Ustinov was in there.
I think I like him.
Yeah.
All right, is that it? We're done.
That's it.
Okay. So Logan's Run, I said last week, is on Tubi, which has ads, and maybe that would make it a little more palatable, taking little breaks. Or Hoopla from your library. Next week, I didn't even write what's up next week. Working Girl. Working Girl. Annie picked Working Girl, and that's on Hulu. And I totally remember this because this is a Fox movie, and I was at Fox when this movie happened. So, and they did the junket in New York. Do I have stories?
Oh,
Okay.
good.
That's it. That's it for us. Watch a movie?
Also with you?
Stay fresh, cheese bags?
Stay